Welcome to the Northwest High School Gymnasium on the campus of Northwest High School in Colerain Township of Ohio. OHSAA men's varsity basketball. The Little Miami Panthers visiting the Northwest Knights, a Southwest Ohio Conference matchup. John Palmer along with Joe Foley tonight. And Joe, we are in for a cracker of a game tonight.
JP, you are correct. We're going to see two contrasting styles of basketball. The Northwest Knights tied right now for the lead in the Southwest Ohio Conference, and they are going to run the ball. I talked to their coach, Brooks Posta, and he told me, quote unquote, we are going to push, we're going to run, we're going to do what we can do. And as fast as they can run, that's what they're going to do. They're going to play some man-to-man. On the flip side, the Little Miami Panthers coming in at 4-4, and they're only one game out of that Southwest Ohio Conference lead. And Little Miami's coach, Mike Craig, mentioned to me very quickly, he said, look, we're a guy, we're going to take care of the ball. They run the Princeton offense. They're going to have some ball movement. They're going to look for some backdoor stuff. So they are going to try to slow things down. One's going to try to speed it up, so it should be a fun ball game.
All right, and we will step aside for the presentation of colors by the Butler Tech ROTC Color Guard and our national anthem. Remove your hats.
For the introduction of the players for each team. First, for the visiting Little Miami Panthers.
National anthem. A good crowd on hand tonight.
Well, I think what do you do on a Friday night to go to a high school game, JP? I mean, what else there to do? Seeing some basketball, and now the football game is football season's over, so.
Yep. Well. High school, anyway.
Yes, it is.
We've got a couple NCAA games. So we'll step aside for the public address introduction of the teams.
Now for your Northwest Knights. Number 22, 6'6" senior Kevin Washoe. Number 12, 6'1" junior Devin Walker. Number 3, 6'2" senior Randall Mullins. Number 2, 6'4" junior Darius Hubbard. And number 1, 6'1" senior Raybar Harrison. The Knights are coached by Mr. Brooks Posta, assisted by Eric Sterling. Now the Matheson
have been introduced. The Northwest High School student section over on the far side dressed quite uniquely tonight. They're calling it Morp. Prom backwards. M-O-R-P. Morp. Well, so they're dressed kind of anti-prom. You know, prom's always formal. They're dressed about as far from formal as you can get.
And for some reason, JP, that I will not be able to answer, they are dressed inside out, if you'll notice.
Yes.
There's a dude wearing a bra, so I don't know how we're going to go down with this, but those kooky kids in the student section, which make every basketball game always exciting.
Yep. Paul Maffey, Kirk Brinker, and Kevin Burkhofer are officials for tonight. And Northwest wins the opening tip-off. And we'll start with Devin Walker. Over to Raymar Hairston. Hairston and Walker around the outside. Down to Randall Mullins. Walker, Hairston, pump fake for three. Drives into the paint. Shot no good. Put back, Darius Hubbard. Still no go. Out of bounds. Possession turns over to Little Miami.
Kevin Worsham knocked it out of bounds. And there he is, 22. And literally right off the bat, Northwest did a good job passing around trying to find an open man.
Number 12 now, Zach Zimmerman for for Little Miami. Kaufman over to Luke Schudinger. The pressure down in the corner, open for a second was Kaufman. He'll come around to the top. Over to Rutherman. Rutherman for three off the rim. Rebound stays to Little Miami, and a good block from Kevin Worsham.
Worsham again on the other end of the court. He had a nice tip out, and I think we're going to see his abilities for blocking shots tonight.
Luke Schudinger to inbound.
Worsham, a 6'6" senior.
Deep ball off the backboard and in. Luke Schudinger for three. First score of the night comes a minute 10 in.
Well, the banks are now open.
Tipped by Kaufman, but Northwest able to cope. Under Worsham. Nothing doing, and out of bounds.
You know, we happened to see the JV game earlier tonight, and kind of started off the same way. A couple of turnovers. Little Miami got out to a little bit of a lead, and we're seeing that here.
In the corner from three, nothing but net for number 22, I believe that was, Blake Kirk.
Two shots, 2 threes. That's a way to start off a ball game, isn't it?
Yep, 6 minutes to go in the first period. 6-0 favor Little Miami. And a turnover.
Well, 3 straight turnovers for Northwest early, so they're going to have to get calmed down if they're going to stay in this one here in the first half.
Little Miami finally clears that over the timeline. Baseline drive. Kick out to Blake Kirk. He'll get a couple more points.
Well, when everything drops for you and you can go 3 shots and 3 scores,
Hairston open on the baseline.
That's a good start.
Hairston tried the kick out to Worsham. Worsham right at his feet, not ready for it.
4 straight turnovers.
Going for the alley-oop. Blake Kirk not able to get that in time.
Well, Little Miami now coming up with a little bit of, they break the press and try to make something happen on an alley-oop and just missed to the right a little bit.
Walker to Mullins. And the out of bounds last touch by Northwest, so Little Miami takes control. This game is starting just like the JV game we just witnessed.
It's the same basketball game. I mean, something, you know, Coach Posta may want to think about is a couple more turnovers, call a timeout, calm them down a little bit and say, hey, we're going to play some basketball. And on the other hand, Little Miami wants to roll.
Kaufman to Zimmerman for 3-0.
The first missed shot of the night.
Raymar Hairston brings it over, sets for 3. Too strong. Worsham put back is not going to go in, and Little Miami comes up with it. Zach Zimmerman comes up with it.
Northwest just hasn't got the break, and they're giving the turnovers.
Big steal by Hairston. Raymar Hairston drives, shot no good, but he'll go to the line.
Hairston, a heck of a ball player in football. Got to watch him a couple of times. He is he's a good athlete. He gets the break here and finally gets a turnover, that first turnover for Northwest, and can't convert, but he will go on the line, and we'll see what he can do.
Raymar Hairston to try and put Northwest on the board via the charity stripe. First shot rims out. Did I see you on a step ladder just before the game welding a seal?
No, that was not me.
Oh.
Dude, you see me on a ladder, you've got problems.
Hairston splits the pair.
I did see those guys, by the way, but I know it wasn't me. Ball kicked out.
Foul on Darius Hubbard. His first and team's first.
Luke Schutinger is trying to make something happen there. Just didn't get it done.
Kaufman over to Zimmerman. In the corner to Rutherman. Kirk up top. In from the outside. 3 blocked by, that was Darius Hubbard.
Oh! Little Miami tried to follow with a 3. Couldn't make it drop, but now here's the speed the other way.
Randall Mullins puts in the 2. It's a good break for Northwest. Finally gets a shot up. 8-3 now. Bounce pass in. Just barely blocked by Worsham. Back to Mullins. Kicks it back to Worsham. Helter-skelter action. Little Miami coming up with it. Shooting her. On the baseline. Neither team setting up anything. Sets immediately for a 3-0 for Mullins. Devin Walker comes back up with it. Walker from deep. No good. Little Miami tries to come up with it, and we'll have a jump ball, possession arrow. Little Miami.
You get in these type of situations, the reality is...
Here's that block that
very nice block.
Just barely got his hand on it.
Then he got a shot at the 3. He converts there, and you got yourself, a very nice 8-point lead, but it didn't go in. Little Miami now getting the loose balls. When you play against offenses that run, loose balls being grabbed up, and Little Miami's finding the ball in the court right now.
I think that was the most chaotic 30 seconds of basketball I've seen in a long time.
Well, chaotic's a nice word, but the reality is you got to live in that chaos, and they'll get it.
Rutherman and 1.
Little Miami doesn't have the speed Northwest has, and the reality is they have to catch up with it when it slows down, and that's when the ball's loose. And Little Miami now has figured out to take advantage of that early. Like you said, we saw the same recipe in the first game.
Rutherman gets the and 1. 3:08 left, 11-3. 8-point lead. Devin Walker, Mullins. Raymar Hairston over on the right-hand side. Devin Walker at the point. Hairston looks in, bounce pass in, shot up, good, Jermaine Britton.
Well, now you saw Northwest on that series. They simply slowed it down and looked around and got to take a breath a little bit, and it converted into points for them.
Shooting her to Alex Abraham. All the way over to Rutherman, who drives the baseline up, good.
Might consider you might want to get a timeout here for Northwest if they don't convert here. Walk.
Travels.
I mean, if I'm Coach Posta here, I'm thinking about a timeout probably here in the next 30 seconds if it doesn't go his way. If he gets a turnover, then go into the quarter and fix things. But I think he can let it get away from him. They could go down 10 on this series.
Abraham kicks it out to Shootinger. Shootinger can't make that ball land. All out of bounds. Possession, Little Miami. Luke Shootinger to inbound. Into Abraham. Abraham under pressure. Sneaks that around to the point.
Time up.
Gets mugged, essentially, by Aaron Sims. It's a foul on Aaron Sims, his first, team's third.
Well, Little Miami's coach, Craig, he said, we're going to have to move the ball around. And he came off the bench and let his players know there, move it. You can't stay there. It's going to continue to get, you'll get pinned in. So we got to move. They got to move. And he obviously is displeased with with the lack of movement at this point.
Abraham shooting her in the corner. Putting her under pressure from Walker. Out to Robert Rutherman. Nick Rigdon. Turn around, shot, rolls around and in for Rutherman. That is his 7th point of the night.
Little Miami now picking him up at 3/4 court.
Britton, Hairston, free ball.
3-point basket, Raymar Hairston.
Immediately, Little Miami breaks the trap.
Got the one down. Nice little sneak through for Zach Zimmerman.
Zimmerman in a situation of a 5'9" player going against Worsham at 6'6", so he had to go left to right. And the reality is, got around and drew the foul, so did his job on the last exchange.
Zach Zimmerman to the line for 2. First one rolls off the rim. Exactly 1 minute left in the first period of play. And after the 1 minute, Northwest already, or after the first quarter, Northwest already 4 fouls. You don't like that if you're Coach Posta.
No, you are in a situation that you don't want to climb deeper into that hole. And the reality is, as the saying goes, had a coach used to say that, hey, when you're in a hole, stop digging. And they are absolutely in that situation here foul-wise.
Britton kicks it to Hairston. Hairston double teamed. Walker comes down with it. Kicks it out to Hubbard. Hubbard can't make it go. Hairston
Nice
on
follow.
the putback and one.
Nice follow.
Northwest basket, number 1, Raymar Hairston.
Hairston will go to the line and watch the ball come up. He does a nice job keeping his body in front of the board and then simply puts it back in for 2. And he will add 1 should he make the end one here for sure. Take it to 5.
He'll land it. Into the game for Northwest, Randall Mullins. Alex Abraham looks to inbound. Ruthermund brings it over to Rigdon. Off of a Northwest player.
Well, he had a good
Possession with
idea.
Miami.
He had a good idea to go to the other side. He was overmatched, drew a player up, and then made the pass, but kicked it out of bounds. It's a fresh start here.
Looks for someone. Heaves it all the way over to Alex Abraham. In the corner to Shootinger. Shootinger in the paint.
Oh, nice quick pass.
Put up again, Nick Rigdon. It's his first points of the night.
Rigdon did a nice job of moving across the paint and getting open.
And a block foul.
You know, they collapsed the gap to 7 by lead by Little Miami Northwest. Now, wondering what they're going to do with 23.8 seconds to go here. And my guess is they're going to go ahead and move it around and take the shot.
Devin Walker. Looking for a lane. Stuck into Hubbard. Hubbard with the jink and in.
Very nice.
Brings it down to 8. It's still 5 points. 5 seconds left in the period. Pass in. Rigdon kicks out to Rutherman. No shot.
Doesn't go.
Shot was not off before the end of the quarter, so after 1, Little Miami Panthers lead 18-13 over the Northwest Knights in basically a tale of 2 bits of the quarter.
Again, we've got like a giant mood swing going on about halfway through the first quarter. I think that it's a roller coaster at best. The reality is Little Miami trying to find the spot, but they're getting the loose balls, and when they did, they converted. On the other hand, Northwest didn't. Northwest had the ball under the basket several times, couldn't make the shots they needed to, but then towards the end of that quarter, they got a little hotter, and what we saw was some good job coming back and staying with it.
Raymar Hairston, leading scorer for Northwest on the first quarter, 7 points to him. 7 points also for Robert Rutherman for Little Miami.
We would like to extend a special thank you to La Rosa Seven Hills for the support of Northwest High School.
Both teams
La Rosa Seven Hills
only having
official neighborhood
three
pizzeria
free throw
now for
attempts, excuse me, so far. Little Miami making 2 of them. Northwest only making 1 so far.
I think you'll see now the rest of this game. You're going to look at the guard play for Northwest. They're going to figure out that real quickly they're either going to make it from the perimeter or inside the perimeter, maybe those 8 to 10 foot shots, or they're going to control the ball and not see it on the hardwood.
Raymar Hairston in the corner, comes up top. Britton. Mullins for 3. Hangs off the rim.
Little Miami continuing to do a good job under the boards, and that's where Northwest has to stop the bleeding per se. They are in a situation where they have to rebound better, and I think that when I spoke to Mike Craig, the Little Miami coach, he said we have to rebound tonight to make a difference, and so far he's done that.
Jermaine Britton. Britton only has 1 to beat. Can't get the layup, but no. Put back. Hubbard couldn't get that. When you get a break like that, you have to get those.
You have to convert those. Unfortunately tonight, so far in this game, that has not been the case for Northwest. So I think Little Miami is frustrating Northwest a little bit by getting all the breaks and getting the loose balls. So we'll see what happens.
Over the timeline. Zimmerman. Rigdon. Rigdon in the corner to Kaufman. Kaufman comes up top. Shootinger. Rutherman for 3. Kaufman, field goal, 3.
Well, they've only missed 1 three-pointer tonight that they've taken, so Little Miami now adding to their resume the three-pointer.
Kevin Worsham into Mullins. Shot rims out.
Again, another great job by Little Miami at rebounding.
And a foul called.
Treson Daniel.
His first, team 6th. So next, here's the Little Miami three-pointer from just a moment ago.
Nice no-look pass.
Makes it look easy.
They sure have tonight.
Zimmerman.
Again.
No basket.
Oh.
Offensive foul.
Called him on the push, huh? Shooter had a very nice shot. And I didn't see that.
Just off the screen, foul was on Robert Rutherman. His second, excuse me, team's 4th. So 4 for Little Miami. They have a couple to give. Northwest has no fouls left to give for the half. 16 fouls on Northwest. Hairston in the corner to Mullins. Mullins drives in. Kick over. Travel call.
No, I think Mullins got just a tad aggressive there. He said, "What the heck? I'm going to try to hop in there," and ball and his feet just couldn't combine to get her in.
Bit of a full court press that Little Miami gets across timeline with.
Good solid passing by Little Miami until they throw it out there.
And
nice play.
Foul. Devin Walker is fouled on the way up. He'll go to the line for 2.
Little Miami making, crisp passes, but they're also predictable. So when they try to go around the outside, they've set themselves up for the steal now 2 or 3 different times. So they need to mix in some things and move a little bit towards the ball.
Devin Walker's first free throw is up and good, and that's his first point of the night. Foul was on Nick Rigdon, his second, team's 5th. Walker gets both. 21-15 now the score.
Little Miami needs to stay patient here and just work with what you got. You know, keep onto the ball control and keep it moving.
Junior kicks it out to Kyle Payne. Now up top, Zimmerman into Kirk. Junior pump fake for two.
Oh, he thought about taking that three from there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? So Luke Schuninger looks for a drive in, sees nothing yet. Still working around the perimeter. Went fake for three again. Little Miami slowing down the tempo a little bit, looking for the shot they want. Long two, no good. Worsham comes up with it. Randall Mullins.
Nice play.
Unable to get the end around.
Schuninger is going to go the whole way. If he can get that to drop, he doesn't. But nice play on the defensive end by Luke, and he came up the other way. And watch him tip the ball here. He comes up the court. He's got a nice play. Good hand-eye coordination. Gets his own tip. Going to run it up and try to take it all the way. He makes it behind the back and can't get it to drop. He makes his first free throw.
Schudinger's first free throw is good. He gets two on this. Northwest, 17 fouls now, so Little Miami in the bonus.
Little Miami coach Mike Craig kind of went out of his personality for a little bit there and tried to run the ball and see if he makes this, then we'll see what happens on the. He'll push it if they miss it. We'll see on that. See if they'll go into the man a little bit.
Devin Walker with the ball. The free throw pair was split. Hairston for three. It's in, nothing but net.
3-point basket, Raymar Hairston.
So it's a 4-point game.
Well, that we know the 3 points. It just seems like you get an extra one every time when you do that.
Yeah.
Now we're
nothing for Little Miami
the
there.
momentum changing a little bit on who can get what to drop.
Hairston deep again, misses. Worsham comes up with it, put back, still no good. Batted out. Northwest keeping control of it. Walker just inside the arc. Willard Robertson put back, nothing. Not a thing on that last couple sequences.
Northwest starting to play with a little more confidence and starting to play with just a little bit more controlled aggression.
Schuninger up to Lake Kirk. Schuninger in the corner, short. It's out of bounds.
I think Coach Posta from Northwest at this point, he's been running his man-to-man inside. What we're seeing is him simply finding out the right matchups right now. I think maybe he didn't have the right matchups to start. He made 2 adjustments. He also brought in Willie Robertson, the 6-foot junior, and let him push his muscle around a little bit, and obviously making somewhat of a difference on that last run. You know, when you're down 10, you can cut it to 5 or cut it to 4 at this point. You're starting to find out where you need people to be, and Coach Post has done that so far in the last few minutes.
Full timeout was called by the Little Miami coach, Mike Craig. So 3:29 left in the first half, 22-18. Little Miami in the bonus, 17 fouls on Northwest. Little Miami has another foul to give before they would be close to a bonus situation for Northwest.
Still got a lot of time here in the second period, but you said it best. They've kept the fouls in check. Northwest, on the other hand, they're right on they're teetering on the edge, but Little Miami hasn't fouled, or they've had a couple of good fouls. I'm going to give it that, but they haven't made any sloppy fouls to date.
Alex Abraham with it under pressure from Devin Walker. Kick out to Schudinger. Jermaine Britton putting a point on the heavy pressure. Now that job comes to Kevin Worsham.
Well, that's what they think they need to continue to do. Is Little Miami needs to pull Worsham up and out of the paint so they can work underneath and look for an open pass.
Schudinger kicks out to Abraham. Did I just see him pump fake? I looked up and I thought I saw that.
Looked good.
Miami taking their time, working around the perimeter, looking for a way to spread out the Northwest defense to slot their way in.
Well,
a loose pass there.
It's a little game they like to call called keep away, and they are Little Miami now executing that perfectly. If they can avoid it and score in this transition, then they'll be okay. Nice follow-up. Nice play.
Blake Kirk on that.
Blake Kirk, persistence paid off for Little Miami. Used a minute and a half off the clock.
Devin Walker puts in the long two. That's 4 points for Walker on the night. Little Miami trying to set up their offense again.
Same program.
Minute 44 left. Top of the key. Stepped out. Abraham over to John Kaufman. Out on the corner. Jumper.
Missed it.
You wish you could call that a pass.
Nice.
Steal again.
Little Miami just continues to stay around the ball. And then makes a bad pass, but that's actually kind of only the first or second bad pass or bad selection of Little Miami's evening here. They've done a nice job of being quietly conservative and minimizing their mistakes.
Devin Walker brings the ball across the timeline with a minute 10 left. Mullins. Down in the paint. Worsham tips in for two.
In an absolute, you have a mismatch there, and Worsham got his back to the basket and got the ball and then turned around and made it happen.
Three attempt by Abraham, no good. Put back, no good. Devin Walker comes up with the ball. Sets top of the key, jumper in.
Right like that, Northwest ties it at 24. And all based on 2 turnovers, that quick.
30 seconds left in the half. Kaufman. Under 15 seconds left. Jumper is no good. Shot taken by Kirk.
Oh, little cherry
Worsham. Free, puts it in. And Northwest, like that, takes their first lead of the night at the sharp end of the half. 3/4 court heave, nothing doing. So as the teams head back to the dressing rooms for halftime, Northwest Knights up by 2, 26-24. You're watching high school basketball on Waycross Community Media.
Do you like what you see? Do you want to see more programs like this? Well, check out waycross.tv for this program and others like these.
Dad, what are you doing?
What am I?
A burrito?
No.
A larva?
A larva? No. I'm a joint.
Actually, you're a little too fat to be a joint.
So you know about joints.
There's no wrong way to talk to your kids about drugs, but you'll need to be ready. We can help. Visit our website at drugfree.org.
Hey, son. So, you're turning 13, becoming a man. Your hormones are surging, starting to notice the girls. You know, maybe your body's doing some funny things. So, you want to talk? Or we could talk about drugs.
Yeah, let's talk about drugs.
There's no wrong way to talk to your kids about drugs, but you'll need to be ready. We can help. Visit our website at drugfree.org.
Welcome back to Northwest High School. This OHSAA men's varsity basketball matchup. Little Miami Panthers at the Northwest Knights, and the Panthers trail 26-24. Jonathan Palmer and Joe Foley with you here on Waycross Community Media. And Joe, that first half was back and forth.
Well, I'll just call it a roller coaster. The reality is the momentum swung in both directions on several occasions. And the reality is pretty even scoring overall. Ramar Harrison with 10 for Northwest. Devin Walker with 6, and on the Little Miami side, Luke Schutinger with 7, as well as Robert Rutherman with 7. So not really any breakaway scoring, just kind of even, guys getting their spots. And Little Miami is going to have to convert when they get the ball. They're going to have to protect the basketball tonight.
Little Miami starts with possession for the second half. Top of the key, shot up short. And Northwest comes up with it, but immediately turned over. Mid-range jumper, rims out. Schutinger cannot get that ball to land. Walker kicks out to Mullins.
You know, Little Miami started the game out making, 5 shots in a row, and now going to need some breaks early on.
Mullins tries 3, gets nothing. Northwest barely keeping the ball inbounds. That looked like number 2, Darius Hubbard, keeping that in. Walker to Hairston. Hairston kicks it out to Walker. Walker, 4-3, too strong.
Now, Little Miami's gonna have to have the soft hands and not let the ball get out of their control when they get the opportunities.
Up top, Blake Kirk. Now on the far side, Kaufman. Luke Schutinger looks to drive in, blocked by Walker. Kicks back out to Zimmerman. Zimmerman, jumper 2, short.
Little Miami coach Mike Craig at the end of the second half was furious that they did not convert. He went into the locker room with a little bit of an attitude, I think.
Rutherman up to Kirk. Kirk to Zimmerman. Zimmerman, bounce pass in. Kirk cannot get that short jumper. Raymar Hairston.
Coach Craig wanted something on a foul, didn't get it.
Shot up, good. Luke Schutinger. First points of the half come just over 2 minutes in.
Little Miami is playing around the basket. They've had their shots. They didn't get them to drop. I think they just need to be patient and look for the loose ball on the defensive end. You know, JP, I think I'm going to say, if you look at this Little Miami team, I would absolutely say that they're a scrappy club. They're not afraid to get the floor burns. They're not afraid to get down there and play inside the paint and do what they got to do. The question is, can they continue to, convert when they get the opportunities? And Walker with 2 more, but just convert. They just need the ball to drop, and they'll be just fine going down the stretch. Northwest, on the other hand, wants to run Little Miami out of the gym and run them up and down the floor and get the fast break, and they're not able to do it right now.
Zimmerman to Rutherman up top. Bounce pass into Blake Kirk. Little Miami sets back up, out for 3. That ball rolls off the rim. No shot Randall Mullins to Devin Walker, long 2. Off the rim, Mullins tries to put back, that's too short. Kevin Worsham tries the 3rd chance. 3 chances, none of them go. Little Miami finally comes up with it. Right under the basket. Little Miami finally able to kick it out. Zimmerman. Now to Kaufman. Zimmerman into Kirk. Kirk back out to Kaufman. In the corner with Luke Schudinger. Kaufman looks for a lane. 4-3. No good. Raymar Hairston comes up with it. All the way over to
little
Kevin
cherry
Worsham.
picking.
Yeah,
there we go. And now that's what they want to do. I figured that Coach Posta would bring the press out a little bit, and that's exactly what he's doing now. He's going to try
Raymar Hairston can't get it. Worsham gets the putback.
And it was kind of one question why Posta would pull the timeout. Throws it the length of the court. Very nice play. And that's the kind of basketball that Coach Posta told me he wanted to play when we talked to him before the game. He said, I want to run, I want to go. He had the opportunity right there to run it up and down the court a couple times, and he called a timeout, and he had Little Miami on their heels a little bit, so he had a chance to really stick it to him there. He didn't. And I think you're going to see Coach stay with that 3-quarter press, keep the trap in, and really try to frustrate Little Miami here with a 6-point lead here. So he's going to try to add to it quick. No fouls in the second half so far.
Big
right in the third quarter. Yeah. Yeah, they weren't afraid to foul in the first half. Little Miami, good job breaking the trap.
Zach Zimmerman. Oh, the top pass in. Cut up in. Good. Zach Zimmerman. So his first points of the half.
Well, I will tell you, great pass by Rutherman there.
Hairston up with it. Hairston 4-3. It's in.
They're not going to be able to leave him open outside the line. He has the ability to shoot the fadeaway. He has the ability to shoot from left to right. And Hairston is a great athlete.
For 3, Little Miami. That's in for Robert Rutherman. 10 points on the night, double digits for Rutherman.
Well, they've only missed 1 3-pointer, 2 3-pointers so far tonight. So Little Miami figuring out that we don't need to really get in there and get overpowered. We can do it from the outside. But we got to have the ball to do it.
Hairston in the corner. Into Worsham. Worsham kicks it back. Hairston 3, long.
Little Miami coaches were not real pleased with that. I think they want to see the ball get around a little more, and take some of the time off the clock.
Timeout, Little Miami, 30 seconds. Called by the coach with 2:04 left.
You know, I think Coach Craig from the Panthers said, you know, we're out of kilter here. Let's get our deal, set it up. We got 2 minutes here in this quarter. We need to make sure that we are going to run the play that takes off time and scores us. They got it within 4. They can't turn it over in this situation.
2 full timeouts, 1:30 left for Little Miami. 3 full timeouts and 1:30 left for Northwest. And again, 2:04 left in the third. No fouls to either team yet. Nick Richten and Robert Rutherman on 2 fouls each. And also 2 fouls each for Raymar Hairston and Darius Hubbard. And a few other players on each team with 1 each. So no player in foul trouble yet. And if the game stays close, both teams have fouls to give if they need to.
Well, Coach Posta from
Rigdon, turnaround, is in.
Nice job. They attacked the right guy. They just brought in Robertson, 32 for Northwest. And they brought him in before to kind of rough things up a little bit. He's a stocky, bulky type player that's playing underneath, trying to play trying to play that, and they kind of figured it out.
Jermaine Britton tried the three, bounced off the rim, and decided I'm going to go behind the backboard. So that'll be
all right
considered out of
now.
bounds.
Absolutely, as we discussed, they will bring the Northwest now is going to go full aggressive, and they did it with Willie, and he falls down and gets a little chuckle out of him.
Wow, first foul of the half.
Well, as we mentioned, he brought Willie in to kind of go, and a little crossover there got him mixed up.
Willie Robertson, his first, team's first. At the line to shoot to Robert Rumble.
Rutherman misses the first.
Randall Mullins checks back in, as does Darius Hubbard. So coach came back to the height, went to the aggression for a little bit. Now I think you're going to see Northwest work the inside when they get the ball again. Pays off immediately.
Missing both free throws.
The height paid off immediately, and now they're going to see it working inside, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Harrison
but draws
kicks
a
into
foul.
Mullins and draws a foul.
Well, the thing Coach Craig has done here, Coach Post has done for Northwest, is that his personality of his team changes immensely when he goes to his height package. He goes to his height package, and then all of a sudden he works it inside. But with his aggressive package in there, he is just, it's a scramble game. So he absolutely knows the personality of his team, and it took him a little bit in that first quarter to figure out who's going to be where and who's going to guard who for Little Miami. Now, on the flip side of that, Coach Craig from Little Miami is trying to combat this in a chess game, and he's trying to find his best package. And right now he's hanging with him. Only 2 down, and make it 3, but we'll see what happens again. Northwest hanging with the press.
Mullins splits the pair. Minute 10 left in the third quarter. In the corner, and a foul called.
You know, Aaron Sims, not a bad foul. Trying to be aggressive there. You watch him, he comes to the one side, and actually the player stumbles a little bit, so it was a little light, but Little Miami will take it under the board. Only 2 team fouls for Northwest, only 1 for Little Miami. And they're going to go back and forth. He was on the line, didn't call it. He was on the...
And another foul.
Northwest fouls on number 2, Darius Hubbard, his third, team's third.
Darius Hubbard's third personal foul, team's third of the half.
Well, they bring Worsham back in now, and again, they're going to stay with that height. I thought Worsham has played a very nice game so far, but he rested a little bit.
Luke Schoeninger puts up a 2. It's down to a 1-point ball game with just over 30 seconds left in the quarter. Mullins for 2, Trayshawn Daniel. Mullins up top. Aaron Sims. Sims looks in. Swish in, no good. Tip back Mullins, no good.
Got a rebound.
Mullins draws a foul.
Little Miami fouls on Robert Rotherman, his third, team second.
So we'll send Randall Mullins to the line. 4-2 with 21.4 left.
3 fouls for Rotherman here. Little Miami subs Blake Kirk, a 6'3" senior. They bring him into power forward spot. They're gonna need good box here should he miss, but he doesn't.
Mullins has both. Couple substitutions into the game before we resume here. Clock ticks to under 20. And another foul. Kevin Walker pleads his case, but He'll still get called for the foul. That's his first of the night. Team's fourth, however.
I think on pleading your case on personal fouls, I think it's like 0 in 247 million to get one turned over. So
you mean I have more odds of winning the Mega Millions?
You probably do, JP. You probably do. Little Miami is going to
4-3, no good. After one, with 1 quarter left, excuse me, Northwest has a 3-point lead, 38-35. And if you're Little Miami, you know that it's only 1 possession to tie, too, if you want to take the lead. So it's still anyone's ball game.
Well, the question becomes whether Coach Posta for Northwest is going to come out in the 4th quarter and be aggressive, you know, and he really liked that last half of the 3rd period where he was coming up on the 3-quarter press. He was being aggressive. He made some turnovers. He kept in the lead, and he kept Little Miami frustrated this time. So when they sit back, it seems like Northwest calms and relaxes a little bit, where Little Miami seems to play better when the tempo's slow. So it is absolutely a chess match of personnel and styles here tonight. And I'd have to say that if you look at this game, Northwest is frustrated by the slow play. They like to pick it up. They like to go more in the style of the AAU basketball where they're moving and moving and moving. Little Miami, on the other hand, is kind of played that keep-away game, and it's all going to obviously come down to turnovers, and it has all night long, and it will continue here in the 4th period.
In the corner, Hairston, 4-3.
3-point basket.
Now, if you can,
16 points for Hairston on the game.
I did not hear if he had done anything for football. Was there? I mean, the time that I saw him play, I didn't know if he was a college football player or not. But he's a heck of an athlete and fun to watch here tonight. That's for sure.
Junior's 3 attempt, no good. Back to Hairston. Hairston cannot get that one. Mullins
nice rebound
on the
underneath.
putback.
Little Miami has lost a little bit that they were blocking out, and now they're letting Northwest get under the paint, under the rim, and inside the paint tight.
Ball lost out of bounds, and that'll be Northwest ball.
You know, good idea by Alex Abraham. He felt like I can push this in, but you know his player was going the wrong way.
And again, I'm finding that this game is following pretty much the exact same pattern as the JV game.
Well, you know, that's what happens sometimes in these programs where they all start having a personality. The team has a personality, but then a program has a personality too. And you see that at various levels. You go to a freshman game of one team, and their JV and varsity look identical, and they're going to look that way for years to come.
Randall Mullins gets a 2 in.
Well, you know, quickly it went to 10 on Little Miami, and you know, Little Miami has gone cold here in the last several minutes of the 3rd period, and they're going to have to shoot 3, and they do it there if they're going to stay in this game.
Zach Zimmerman gets 6 points now on the night so far. Kevin Walker and Raymar Hairston up top. Hairston in the spot he's liked. He drives in, kicks out, ball just out of bounds. Possession still Northwest.
You know, you got a lot of time here, and I think the fact of the matter is, as in all sports, it's just going to come down to those little mistakes.
4-3, no good. Rebound into Hubbard. In.
I think Northwest is really starting to pull away at this point, and Aaron Sims with very, very aggressive basketball. He's going to get the play. And
3rd personal foul on him. Fifth on the team.
I think you're going to see him go ahead and continue his aggressiveness And Coach Post has just got him out there and said, hey, just go get me the ball, do what you got to do. And he's kind of going to be a sacrificial lamb for the fouls, it looks like.
Over to Kaufman. Kaufman out to Schutinger. Schutinger puts in for 2 and in.
I would think at some point Little Miami's going to have to consider bringing up the press and put it on.
Hairston
put on the press a little bit. Now we're just.
Hairston on the layup. Clock ticks under 5.
You get an open basketball to float through the paint like that for that long. Somebody like that's going to grab it, and he did.
Pass in to Schutinger, blocked, but he gets second try. Hairston in the corner to Mullins. I think you just get the feeling as Hubbard goes for 3. I think you get the feeling that Northwest is starting to click on all cylinders. They're all kind of in tune with each other.
Well, Coach Posta now has the right matchups where he wants them. It took him part of the first half, and then now into finals. He's got the right kids on the right kids, and you know.
Rutherman hits 3. 13 points on the night for him.
He knows at this point, when he looks at his roster, he's looking, you watch his substitution, he's done a great job. It took him a little bit to get up to speed, and, you know, Little Miami, on the other hand, had the opportunities, but just didn't make the shots when they needed to, and didn't get the loose balls to drop their way when they needed it. Now, can they come back with 4 minutes? Absolutely. But as you mentioned, the puzzles, the pieces of the puzzle for Northwest are falling the way he wants them. And I would expect now that Little Miami might have to pick it up a little bit, because you're feeling the pressure of the clock at this point, and you get it within, you know, it's 10 and it's 7 and it's 6, you know, and you're gonna have to get it into, you know, a 2-possession ball game with less than, you know, when it gets to a minute, you better be within 2 possessions. They've shot the 3 pretty well for Little Miami tonight. I mean, the reality is they've only missed a few of 3 of those this evening. So I think you're going to see that and see what's going to happen down the stretch.
Timeouts left for Little Miami. 1 full, 1:30 for Northwest. 3 full, 1:30. Hairston. Hubbard, or excuse me, that was Mullins. Hubbard gets the rebound.
Oh, nice play.
Good block. Blocked by Rutherman. Now Rutherman drives to the paint. He gets blocked. It looks like last touched by Darius Hubbard.
Well, he you know, he's 6'4". He's got 6'6", 6'5", and 6'3". He went in there, and 3 guys got a nice chance at it, and I think Worsham was closest to the hoop.
No go for Luke Schutinger on the 3, but a foul. Foul on Trayshawn Daniel, his second, team 6th.
Northwest fouls number 2, Trayshawn Daniel, his second, team 6.
Little Miami on the inbound has to get 2 here. And massive height difference.
Mullins cannot get the layup. Ball loose. Fremar Hairston comes up with it. And we'll have a scrum on the floor.
That's Little Miami's
Timeout
basketball.
called by Little Miami. .30 seconds, so they are now left with 1 full timeout.
Well, we're getting a little scrappy under the boards here. Ball is missed. Hairston comes back with it. Now you're going to bat it around. It gets kicked out. You've got 3, 4 guys. And then finally, Little Miami does come up with the ball, but calls the timeout and will retain possession. So you're looking at 7 points. You got 3 minutes left.
15 minutes if you're a campus and facility.
They're gonna let them play. Let them go. Get aggressive, see what they can do. Little Miami only 1 game out in the Southwest Ohio Conference from first place. Northwest tied for first, so really you got a battle for conference lead here. So you've got some things on the line, and you got 2 teams playing real well tonight in their own little style of basketball.
3:11 left.
Northwest staying man-to-man and pressing now. Might have them in the trap.
Got to count of 10 to get it across the timeline, and they do.
Somebody was open. You had to find him.
Shooting her. Gets it out to Zimmerman. Shooting her for 3. It's in.
Yes. Nice shot.
4-point ball game. 2 possessions. Devin Walker. Hairston. Drives in. Shots up. Foul.
Little Miami fouls on number 22. Shot injured. His second.
There's the 3-pointer here. And Rutherman with a nice shot and gets it that much closer for him. 4 points for Little Miami. And Hairston is having a good night. He really needed to convert there. Some player changes that we're watching now. Again, as I mentioned, Mike Craig brings in Randall Mullins. He's going to see who his matchup is. They're going to stay in that man, and they're going to get the right guys. Try to force the turnover here when they're on the rebound.
Hairston splits the pair. 30-second timeout called by Coach Brooks Posta.
Northwest takes a 30-second timeout.
2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the 4th period.
Well, I think if Northwest here gets the ball back, they're gonna turn into Little Miami for a little bit and play a little keep away with them and try to get it under a minute, try to keep it in 5-6 point range. But I think Little Miami now needs to really think about getting an open 3 and get a good look and find that 3-point shot at this point. It may take a little bit to get there, but it's tough to go inside. I mean, the reality is, Worship on the interior. He is he's played really well underneath, and he's matched up well with the Little Miami front.
Another thing we have to keep an eye on the foul situation. Northwest 16 fouls, Little Miami 3. So Little Miami has several fouls that they can give at this point.
No reason to go inside.
Shooting her for 3, nails it. Down to a 1-possession ball game with under 2 minutes to go.
Well, Little Miami did exactly what I had hoped they would do, and now they're going to convert another, and they should do the same thing here. They should keep it out, see if they can get a good look on outside the arc.
Shooting her up top. Shooting her drives in, kicks out for 3. Lead shot by Robert Rutherman. 54-53, 90 seconds and counting.
The Northwest here has the upper hand. They need to stay with it, do what they do, which is play inside to their biggest man.
Worsham kicks it out to Hubbard. Hubbard out to Hairston. All the way over to Walker. Walker got the winner against Ross a few weeks ago.
Find the look. He traveled. They didn't call it. They're going to find the look inside. Worsham, great job.
Worsham comes up with it. Devin Walker, 50 seconds left.
Wow.
Mullins, back to Walker. Hairston for the lead, no!
Loose ball, Little Miami.
Little Miami comes up with it, but Northwest comes up with it, and a foul called.
Well, they let them play to a point, and then they reined it in pretty quick. I will tell you, the fact that they're not in the bonus is really the bonus for Little Miami there, because you would have put, you could have put the go-ahead points right on the line. They didn't have to do it, and he is not in the bonus.
Yep. That is the 4th personal foul, though, on Robert Rutherman, who is one of the leading scorers for Little Miami.
Now, he can make it 30 seconds for Little Miami. The key now is box out their big man for Little Miami, and the reverse of that for Northwest.
Hairston in the corner. Mullins drives
the right guy, and that's in.
2, it's in.
All right, Little Miami has 21 seconds, and they'll have to work it up and probably call a timeout and think about it, and they do.
That is their last timeout. It's a full 16.9 left.
Well, when you get an opportunity to have a last shot ball, which they are going to go here, the reality is Little Miami has done very well working the ball around and finding an open look. They've done it on their last 2 possessions, both the 3-point shots, and they took the lead on both times. So the reality is you gotta dance with who you brung. So we're in a situation right now for Little Miami where they're going to use the clock. They've used their timeout. It makes no sense in giving the Little Miami or giving Northwest the ball. No sense whatsoever. Use it all. Find an open shot. Do what you do.
Ross, Luke Schettinger, 21 points on the night so far. 16 points for Robert Rutherman.
Well, that's a heck of a second and a half for Schettinger. He had 7 in the first half. He earns 14 in the second half. He's come alive. You got a last chance.
So 16.9. If Northwest fouls, it's a 1-and-1 for Little Miami.
Coach has drawn a play to the perimeter.
Rutherman into Kirk. Rutherman to Zimmerman. Blake Kirk.
He walked.
Schettinger walked. 8.9 seconds left. And all Northwest has to...
No, he walked. It's pretty evident there.
Yep, definitely.
The Northwest, Little Miami coaches do not like that call, but the replay has to agree with the officials. He did take a step.
Timeout Northwest.
I think absolutely, they got to tie it up. The foul doesn't do them any good. I think the reality is you got to tie it up. They got the possession. Green's got to get the ball, and that is going to be a tall order. If Northwest here has done what they've done, they've kept the ball moving around, keep it with their height, keep it with their speed, they should be fine. But Little Miami, again, I call them a scrappy team for a reason. They, if a ball gets tipped or a ball gets loose, I don't know what it is about this Little Miami team. It seems like their players have really quick hands. It seems like they get loose balls more than the average team. And if Northwest here puts the ball within reach, Little Miami could get it, but
big group of students up top.
And they're waiting for a victory.
Jermaine Britton will inbound the ball. Gets it into Hairston. Quick touch foul.
Reality is
not enough time to get you into the bonus.
Right. That's why I said the fouls don't do you any good, because all it does is eat the clock. And you need the ball in the clock if you're Little Miami, obviously. So now they've got a good man-to-man going to call a timeout. And another one. Used a second and a half. And now
4th foul on Luke Schettinger. So you have both the leading scorers for Little Miami on 4 fouls.
Well, at this point, Little Miami's going to need to tie it up, and get a loose ball. But the question now is where are you going to match up? And I'm sure that's what coach is drawing right now, trying to figure out who can we match up in order to get that ball. And I don't. Northwest has done a good job of movement tonight. They've done a good job, and I think reality is they got to get into play. I wouldn't be at all shocked if you see them throw the ball towards that end of the court. And Northwest is going to have to figure that Little Miami's trying to get it trapped up here. Why? Because they can get the ball, turnover, and make the shot. They get them down here and trap it in front of the Northwest basket or anywhere close. I think the reality is you can't get the ball up the court fast enough. So the safe move is to take one of these Northwest guys and send them to the other end.
Both teams right on the border of the bonus. Looking for another quick foul. Ball on the floor, loose. There's the touch foul.
Whoa. Almost had an over and back. Hard to see is right in front of us. It looked to me like an over and back and could have went the other way. But they're going to call a foul, and they're going to put them on the line and give Little Miami 2.9 seconds to work with and down 1. So we all know what has to happen here.
Jermaine Britton has a 1-and-1. Britton's first shot. Misses. Clock starts.
Probably the best play that you can do. He's got to let it go.
No good. And Northwest wins in a thriller, 55-54. Luke Schettinger tried the beyond half court. No good. Northwest gave great pressure right after that miss, so they couldn't get out in time. If they were able to get out, they had a little extra time to try and set it up, but they just had to rush. They had absolutely no time to set up anything right at the end.
Well, they forced Little Miami to make those fouls, which slowly ate that clock. When you only have 8-10 seconds to work with, you lose a second and a half, 2 seconds on each one of those fouls. They add up. You end up with 2.5 seconds on the clock when you're shooting free throws. There's no way to get the ball up. And Northwest had him. Coach Bosa from Northwest had him right where they wanted. He's got the clock. He did a great job of clock management. And the reality is he at the end of the day, he's the one that played the keep away against Little Miami, who tried it all night long, and Coach Posta put his boys together and got them matched up for a very good game.
A great roller coaster game. Little Miami had a big lead earlier. Northwest brought it back. Northwest got a big lead. Little Miami brought it back, but it was not enough. Don't forget, if you'd like to get involved with the activities of Waycross, give us a call at 513-825-2429. Check us out online, www.waycross.tv. Thank you to all the volunteers who came out, and thanks to all of you for joining us. Once again, your final score, Northwest Knights 55, Little Miami Panthers 54. For Joe Foley, I'm John Palmer. So long, everyone.
Copies of this program are available for $20 each. Send program title along with your address and check or money order to Waycross Community Media. Attention Dub Coordinator, 2086 Waycross Road, Forest Park, Ohio 45240. Or buy securely on the web at www.waycross.tv.